My nephew mocked me at his wedding. Then I found out my girlfriend knew his best man. At my nephew Kyle's wedding, I thought I was having a great night. I'm 34 and run a contracting business, so I don't get dressed up often. And I was excited because I brought Brooke, the woman I'd been dating since March. She was 29, worked in marketing, and we'd been talking about moving in together. She held my arm, smiled at my relatives, and kept whispering little jokes that made me relax. I'd also been paying Kyle's state university tuition for 4 years. My sister, Kimberly, divorced when he was 15 and money was tight, so I covered about $1,800 a month and his books, and I helped with a cheap car. By now, it was close to $80,000, and I'd never once thrown it in anyone's face. The reception was loud and fun until the speeches. Kyle stood up, did the normal thank yous, then locked eyes with me and grinned. He raised his glass and said, "I want to thank my Uncle Steven. He's been like a second dad, and I'm so glad he finally found someone desperate enough to date him." Then he looked at Brooke and said, "You're a saint for putting up with his boring construction stories." For a second, I just froze. I heard a few gasps, then the laughter hit like a wave. Kimberly was laughing with tears in her eyes. I felt my face get hot, but I kept my smile glued on. Brooke's hand tightened on my knee, like she was warning me not to react. I stood up, walked over, shook Kyle's hand, and said congrats like nothing happened. Brooke kept her head down, but I saw her glance toward the best man, Patrick. I told Brooke I didn't feel well. We left early while everyone was still laughing and clinking glasses. In the car, Brooke kept saying it was just a joke, and Kyle was drunk. I asked, "Do you know Patrick?" She said, "Not really," and changed the subject fast. That made my stomach twist. Back home, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every second, and I couldn't stop thinking about one moment from the head table. Right after Kyle said it, Brooke looked straight at Patrick. Patrick looked back, and they shared this quick, knowing look before they both fixed their faces like nothing happened. I'd seen Patrick on campus, but Brooke never mentioned him. Sunday morning, I called Kyle and kept it casual. I asked how he knew Patrick, then asked if Patrick knew Brooke. Kyle hesitated, then said, "Yeah, they dated, off and on for like 2 years." My stomach dropped. He added, "They broke up in February, I think, and Patrick still asks about her." February. Brooke and I started dating in March. I ended the call and sat there staring at the wall, feeling stupid for not seeing it sooner. Brooke was always weird about social media, saying she hated drama. Now it felt like she was hiding. I made a throwaway account and searched her and Patrick. I found photos of them going back over a year. Then I saw a post from 2 weeks ago, the two of them at a restaurant, sitting close like nothing ever ended. I didn't message her. I didn't ask for an explanation. I just sat there in silence until the anger settled into something cold and clear. Monday morning, I made my move. I called the university financial office and said I was discontinuing my payments effective immediately. I followed their steps. Then I stopped the automatic transfer in my bank app. Then I called Brooke. I said, "I know about you and Patrick. I saw the photos and I heard the timeline. We're done." She went straight into damage control. "He's just a friend. Those pics are old." Then she started crying and begged me to meet for coffee. I said no, hung up, and blocked her. By Tuesday, my phone was non-stop. Kimberly called furious. "Kyle says his tuition got pulled. What did you do?" I told her I stopped paying. She said I was punishing Kyle for a joke, and it wasn't his fault. I said, "Kyle is an adult. He stood up at his wedding and humiliated me in public, and he knew Brooke was Patrick's ex." Kimberly snapped, "It wasn't his place to get involved in your relationship." I said, "Staying quiet while I'm being played isn't neutral. It's choosing a side." That night, Kyle finally called, and his voice was different. No smug grin, no jokes. He said his final semester starts in 3 weeks and he can't pay. He apologized for the speech and blamed the open bar. Then he tried to move on like the other part didn't matter. I stopped him. "You knew about Patrick and Brooke." He got defensive. "It wasn't my place, Uncle Steven. I barely know her." I said, "You made her part of your punchline, and you watched her share that look with him." He tried, "You're making this a bigger deal than it is." I took a breath and said, "My help was a gift, not an obligation. You disrespected me, and you stayed quiet while your friend did this. I'm not paying another dollar." He started talking fast, but I said, "Figure it out," and ended the call. Now my family is saying I'm cruel for cutting tuition. Was I wrong?